You talk about your mom squad and you interviewed a bunch of different people, but who in your inner circle, who is your mom squad? Who do you turn to advice? I know you spoke to Mila Kunis in the book and things like that. So what kind of advice do you kind of ping pong back and forth to each other?
I mean, when I first was going back to work and I was really struggling with leaving my kid to go back to work, one thing that she shared that's also in the book that I thought was so helpful was she said, whenever I'm going to work, I never turn to my kids and say, oh, this is a bummer, mommy has to go to work. She's like, I say it in a really positive way where it's like, mommy has to go to work. So her kids associate, they don't associate her leaving with something bad. They associate she's going to work and it's positive and upbeat. And so her children can equate being successful and having work with something positive. Another one of my friends, Amber Tamblin, who's a part of my mom squad, who I interview in the book, she shared they all shared so many wonderful tools. But one of the things specifically is Amber shared quality over quantity, where yes, as a working mother, we have to leave and go to our jobs. But when we are with our family, it's about quality over quantity. Because how many times have you been with your family where you're distracted by emails or on your phone, or you're not even present? Mm-hmm. Not you, but one, like we can all relate to that. We're not even present. But if you have that quality time where when you're with your family, you're not on your phone, you're not answering emails, you're not distracted by something else. It's the quality of the amount of time. That was a wonderful thing that Amber shared. And there's nuggets like that throughout the entire book on all these subjects. Because if you're going to take the time to read the book, I want you to leave with tools to make your life easier.
Definitely. I think that's so important. And I know something that you talk about in the book and something that you struggled with the first time around was postpartum anxiety. How was that for you this time? Because postpartum anxiety is definitely a real thing. I know after I had my baby, I was worried about everything and everything bothered me, everything triggered me. But how is it for you this time around? Were you able to prepare yourself a little bit more? Or is that something that you can even prepare for?
Well, the first time around, I was totally blindsided by it. I had no idea. And through the process of writing my book and talking to my mom squad and sharing all of these different viewpoints in the book from mothers of all ages, I really did learn so much about that experience I was going through, how to prepare for the next time, and the fact that every situation is different. From child to child, it affects your body differently. And I have to say, with my son, it's been a very different experience. Number one, because I knew what to expect. Number two, because I have done so much research about my hormones and all of these things that happened through the process of writing my book. Mm-hmm. And number three, I knew how to support myself this time. So those were huge assets for me. It's nothing like it was the first time around. It's just nothing like it was. And also now, because I've done so much research on my hormones that I wrote about in my book and interviews all these doctors. And now because I have the correct why, because now I know about my hormones and I know what happens, it's not so all over the place, because now I'm like, oh, I know why this is happening.
Right.
And that's something that, again, writing this book was so healing for me, because now I have that knowledge, and this time it's not affecting me the same way.
Right. That is so good. And I know that you said, yeah. And I know that you said that in the book, like it really affected your marriage the first time around. And, you said to your husband that I'm not the same person that you married. Have you found your way back? Or do you feel like you're 100% the person that you were before you had your daughter?
Well, it's an interesting, yeah, exactly. So I feel like I often say when I became a mother, I woke up. Mm-hmm. And because everything is so different now in the most wonderful way. I mean, motherhood for me is the most incredible phenomenon that happens to us. And it's also the most terrifying, so I would never want to go back, but it is interesting to look at the fact that you do have some mourning of your former self. Because you are different. How can you not be? You're just different now. And so there is that kind of thing of, yes, and when I said that to my husband, that the woman you married is gone, he said, yes, you're a mother now. And it struck me at such a guttural level, because it's so true. Like, we are changed, and I would never want to go back. But you can acknowledge that, oh, I am different.
Yeah.
And how amazing. I also write about the fact that mothers are like superheroes. I mean, we have this sixth sense. We know when something's wrong with our child. We know, one of the women I interview in my book, her name is Dee. She has 9 children. And she knew, she spoke to that particular subject in my book about having that sixth sense where you just know something is happening with that particular child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like these superpowers that we have, our mama bear instincts, like all the things that come into play. It's incredible. And I write, when is Marvel going to make a movie about us?
Pretty good.
Mothers are the real superheroes, for real.